Hey guys, what's going on? It's Eli, back with another review video, and of course, continuing on with the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles review marathon. Now, we've come to the first sequel, and that being, of course, the first sequel to the original/first Ninja Turtles movie, which being The Secret of the Ooze. Yes. So, The Secret of the Ooze. Yeah, because this turned out to be a pretty good, sequel, and, for it being the first Ninja Turtles movie sequel. And, and the thing is, after the first movie, because parents, they complained about the first one being dark and the Turtles swearing, and no doubt about it, because, well, the kids, quoting the first film, and of course, the Turtles swearing. Like, yeah, that's understandable. And it's understandable because in the first sequel, they toned down, the Turtles and made them more lighthearted, and watching the movie, I don't think I heard any swearing. Not even say, like hell or anything like that. But, The Secret of the Ooze still turned out pretty good. And, especially because, another thing, because in the first movie, because, yeah, not only were the Turtles funny, but they were serious at times, especially Raphael. And as I talked a lot about, all that stuff in my review of the first film. So, and Raphael, yeah, because definitely Raphael was toned down in this. Not to mention, his voice was changed, but more on that later. So I'll go ahead and read the description / the story. The Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles again battle their arch enemy, the rogue ninja Shredder. Shredder attempts revenge by obtaining the same radioactive ooze that created the Turtles and their master, Splinter, and unleashing two new monstrous mutants, Toka, an oversized snapping turtle, and Razar, if I'm saying that name right, a fearsome wolf-like creature. When Shredder plans to use the remaining ooze on himself, the Turtles must harness their ninja fighting skills to stop him. Okay, so the first thing I'd like to point out is that The Secret of the Ooze is dedicated to Jim Henson. Yeah. And, because him and his company being involved in the first two films, and again, the Jim Henson Company never disappoints bringing puppets and creatures to life, and they did a heck of a good job bringing the Turtles, Splinter, and in this film, the two monstrous mutants to life. Like, again, they never disappoint. They get the job done. And yes, the opening to this, to The Secret of the Ooze, pretty funny, because of course, once again, we have New York City, where the Turtles live, and of course, living in the sewers. The people in the streets of New York, all of them are basically eating pizza, like a couple on a date, and, they kiss, and, they bite on pizza. I think there was a taxi driver that was eating pizza, I want to say. But yeah, basically, everybody was eating pizza. And we get the introduction of a new human character in this, which being Kano, if I'm saying that name right, played by Ernie Reyes Jr. Basically, because he's delivering pizza to April O'Neil, but really it's the Turtles that are ordering pizza. And at one point, Kino, he stumbles upon, these, crooks, stealing in, a store, I want to say, mall, store, whatever. And, he tells them that, they're under arrest, even though he's not a cop, but that's the best he can do. And wouldn't you know it, well, first off, Kino, he does some kung fu and fights them, but, there's more that come in, and wouldn't you know it, the Turtles, they step in, we get the opening logo, and yeah, of course, Kino discovers the Turtles, and, of course, with, the fighting sequences with the Turtles and the bad guys, always great, and, a little conversation between the Turtles and Kino. Basically, yeah, the Turtles ask Kino to go ahead and call the police while they gather up all the bad guys, and, they get it done. Like, they gathered them all up, and one of them is, like, hanging on the ceiling and stuff like that. And we once again get the introduction of April O'Neil, this time being played by Paige Turco. The first actress playing April O'Neil was not called back in to play April O'Neil because the director of the first film was unhappy with her because she complained about something with how the stunt people were being treated, something like that. Why was he unhappy with her doing that? Like, she had a reason, so, you know, there's that. But, you know, she later, you know, confirmed that she had nothing against Paige Turco's performance as April O'Neil. Me neither, because, hey, she was pretty good as April O'Neil. And I also read this, that actually it was said that she bared a good resemblance to April O'Neil. And like I said, yeah, because I had nothing against Paige Turco's performance as April O'Neil. She was good. She was really good. It would have been nice if the original actress playing April O'Neil came back. But, you know, Paige Turco, she was acceptable. You know, but the thing is, because this is a sequel to the first movie, what happened to Casey Jones? Like, I don't know. I don't think I read that because he was totally absent in this movie. We all know at the end of the first movie, him and April, they got together. What happened? Like, I guess Casey went off to do something. Again, the Secret of the Ooze, they never established this. That's a shame. Like, that's a big detail. You get my point. But anyways, so yeah, so the Turtles and Splinter, and once again, Splinter being voiced by and puppeteered by Kevin Clash. Some of the Turtles, like, their voices were different. I mean, one of them, like, just a few of them. The only one that I can think of that, Robbie Rist, who voices Michelangelo. You know, once again, he reprised the voice role of Michelangelo. And as I said, Kevin Clash coming back to voice and puppeteer Splinter. Yeah, and as I said, Raphael's voice was different, and, like, it's like the voice reminds me of something, but I can't place it. But, you know, not that I'm complaining about, like, some of the Turtles' new voices in this film. You know, they did pretty good. And by the way, because I read this, that the facial features, like puppeteering and such, you know, were different for this, and I guess much better, I assume. Yeah, and as I said, Raphael's voice, you know, definitely different in the first sequel. You know, not that I'm complaining, but, you know, like, the new voices for the Turtles in this film, they were good, you know. I had no problem with them. But anyways, at one point, April O'Neil and, like, you know, more newscasters, they are at a scene, and April O'Neil voicing one scientist that's part of, let me see, yeah, the TGRI, which is short for Techno Global Research Industries. Yeah, I think I got the last word right. And the scientist, the professor, I should say, Professor Jordan Perry, being played by the late legendary actor David Warner. Yeah, David Warner in something Ninja Turtles. That's awesome. So April O'Neil interviewing Professor Jordan Perry about, you know, like, I guess, like, something to do with the Ooze or something like that. And, you know, with the Turtle, because the Turtles, like, they love watching the news and, you know, always tuning in when April is on, you know. And even Splinter, because, you know, this interests Splinter, like, what's going on, and with, you know, the Professor and with the Ooze and stuff like that. And, yeah, basically, because the Ooze that made the Turtles and Splinter what they are, it came from a factory, and which being TGRI. And, yeah, because the Turtles, you know, they attempt to go in and, you know, find the evidence and, you know, with the Ooze, and to know more about the Ooze and so on. But while that's going on, you know, a little bit earlier in the film, Shredder, he's back, and, you know, you think and as I talked about when I reviewed the first movie, you think that he was killed, in that garbage truck, and thanks to Casey Jones. Yeah, but he did survive, and yeah, he's back, and what's left of the Foot Clan, and along with, Shredder's, commander, I want to say, his sidekick, basically, Tatsu, Shredder in command of the Foot Clan once again. Again, what's left of the Foot Clan. And yeah, Shredder, he plans to take revenge. And, the Foot Clan, they break into the factory. And basically there's one can of ooze left. It's the only one left. And by the way, because also these giant dandelions that are a part of the ooze, I want to say. Yeah. So the Foot Clan, they get a hold of the last remaining can of ooze, but also they take the professor, hostage, and Shredder forces the professor, Jordan Perry, to create 2 new monstrous mutants, and as I read in the description/story, forcing Professor Jordan to help, make new monstrous mutants. And the thing about David Warner's character, Professor Jordan Perry, I thought at first that the professor was going to be a bad guy, because, usually David Warner, he's played a lot of villains. But no, the professor was not a bad guy in this. In fact, later on, he joins and helps the Turtles. So that's good. And the attempt to, defeat and take down the 2 monstrous mutants. So yeah, as I said, the Foot Clan getting the ooze and the professor, and, throughout that, because the professor, helping out, create the monstrous mutants, and again, using, a wolf dog, basically, I don't know, because it's a wolf, yeah, and the snapping turtle, and creating, again, Razar and Toka, and they're both voiced by Frank Welker. Yeah, Frank Welker, we all know Frank Welker, and how amazing he is at doing creature animal noises, yeah. And, I'm not sure, because about Razar and Toka, are they supposed to be the Rocksteady and Bebop, wannabes, they're on my shirt somewhere. I don't know, but hey, Razar and Toka, they were okay. They did perfectly fine for me in this film. So yeah, and they were pretty cool. And by the way, because, they start off acting childish, and the professor telling Shredder, because they're infants and stuff like that, and even at one point saying, okay, then idiots, however he says it. Yeah, pretty funny. And also, just want to mention, Shredder, he upgrades his armor and, his helmet, more menacing, I guess you could say. And with that going on, because, yeah, the Turtles, their failed attempt on getting the last remaining, ooze in a can, Kino goes to April's apartment, bringing her a pizza, even though she didn't order a pizza. But that's because he attempts to find out, and know more on the Turtles. And, he finds them, they're discovered. And, of course, he meets Splinter. And Splinter, well, of course, Kino now knows them and has to, know about them and so on. And, Splinter telling him, I think you need to sit down and calm down, however he says it. And Kino, yeah, he faints. And, yeah, Splinter giving Kino the talk and backstory on, who and what they became and so on. And, I gave them all names. I'm Leonardo, I'm Michelangelo, Donatello, Raphael. And more on the Turtles and Splinter. Because as we all know, Splinter, not only he's their master, but he's also their dad. And yeah, Splinter acting like a dad to them sometimes, and even like say, I guess you could say, giving them timeouts, and like, he says to them, give me 10 backflips. And one of the turtles, Michelangelo, I've got to talk about this. Like, Michelangelo, him being the goof off, like there's like one joke, from Michelangelo where, because he's quoting movie lines, and like up to when the turtles, they go back to the sewers to find a new hideout, etc. And when they say goodbye to April for now, and while it's raining, when we come up to Michelangelo saying goodbye to April, he's quoting lines from Casablanca, to the part where, here's looking at you, kid. It's pretty funny. And so, yeah, they do find a new hideout in the sewers, and actually, they find, like, an abandoned, like, subway tunnel, I want to say, and there is, like, a piece of a subway train there as well. So, perfect hideout for them. But not only that, but Kino, more on Kino, because Kino figures out, and he is aware of the Foot Clan, that is, and he has an idea about joining the Foot Clan, so that way, he's there and he can help out the Ninja Turtles on what they have to do, and to get, obviously, the can of the last remaining Ooze. But, Splinter, he's against this because, too dangerous. But Kino, he is determined to help out and to, help the ninjas on this. And I think it's him and Raphael. Yeah, Raphael. They go in and, Kino joining the Foot Clan, the Foot Clan is unaware of who Kino really is and what he's doing. And Raphael, like, sneaking in with Kino, and, well, they're, of course, discovered. And Kino, he escapes, but Raphael, he was held captured. And so the Turtles, go in and help Raphael, and, of course, they once again meet Shredder. And it seems like at one point, the Turtles, they're doomed and so on. Like, Michelangelo, Leonardo, and Donatello, they're caught in a rope trap. But Splinter, he steps in at one point and helps out his children. And, like, that's all there is. Like, there's no, like, interactions between Splinter and Shredder in this movie. Unlike what happened in the first movie. Like, why not? But, but hey, still turned out fine and okay. And at one point, I think, no, they don't get, I remember now, like, they don't get the can of the last remaining Ooze. Shredder still has it, but they do, however, save the Professor. And like I said, the Professor joining and helping the Turtles, and not to mention, because, the Turtles encountering the two monstrous mutants, Razar and Tokka. And, basically, the Professor, like, giving the Turtles and Splinter more information / details about the Ooze. And, it's amazing because the Professor figures it out instantly about, how the Turtles, how they became what they are. And basically, 15 years ago, the Ooze turned them into what they are. So he got it figured out. And basically, the Turtles and the Professor, Jordan Perry, they are determined to create a formula / potion to take down and defeat, the two monstrous mutants, Razar and Tokka. And basically, there are these, like, ice cubes, I want to say, and, like, basically, I think it was, Michelangelo that had the idea of, like, putting them in, like, cupcakes, because, they have no choice but to meet with Shredder, because, April O'Neil, received a message from, like, members of the Foot Clan, like one of them, named Freddy, being played by Mark Doer, if I'm saying the last name right. At first, because, like, he was pretending to be, like, a worker, for the news people, handling the cords and so on. But yeah, really, he was a member of the Foot Clan, and, he gave a message to April that the Shredder wants to meet with the Turtles. They have no other choice, but, because basically, yeah, Shredder is threatening to unleash Toka and Razar in Manhattan, Central Park, etc. And so, yeah, the Turtles, they meet up with Shredder and the Foot Clan at a construction site, but before the battle begins, because the Turtles, they pretend that, this, a ceremony or something with cupcakes, giving them to Toka and Razar, and they eat them, but, they eat two of the cupcakes, but there's, I think 2 more left. And, yeah, they figure out what's going on, that, what they were going to give Razar and Toka, and thus the battle/fight begins, between the Turtles and the 2 monstrous mutants. And, even at one point, they break in and stumble upon, a music dance party happening, basically, and they crash the party, basically. The rap band is led by Vanilla Ice. That's right, Vanilla Ice in a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles movie. And it doesn't take them that long, and for Vanilla Ice to, do, a rap song, which being, "Go Ninja, go Ninja, go! Go Ninja, go Ninja, go!" And, the people, a bit freaked out at first, some of them, at times being freaked out, and even one of them, saying, "Those are the best costumes I've seen," blah, blah, blah. The Turtles fighting off Toka and Razar and, the Professor coming in, and even at one point, because Razar and Toka, they at one point burp, and that basically does affect them. It starts to affect them. It seems as though that they did eat the cupcakes that, had those ice cubes of that formula/potion where it would turn them back to their normal selves and no longer be mutants. And by the way, more on Razar and Toka, because at one point, Shredder unleashing them on, a street side, and, they're basically destroying cars, knocking over telephone poles, and there's this couple that's about to get in a taxi cab, and they see them, and it's pretty funny, the wife says, let them get another taxi, and so on. And we even get the appearance of Chief Stearns, who we saw in the first film, and once again played by Raymond Sarah, again, if I'm saying the last name right. And once again, because, him and April O'Neil going at it, and, she knows something that, he, is pretending not to know and stuff like that. And even April telling Chief Stearns that, him and the police, they don't seem to be the best ones to handle this situation. And golly, because Chief Stearns, agreeing with what she says, you are the freaking police, seriously, But of course, we all know that this is something that the Turtles can handle, and thus they do. And along with them, the Professor, because creating that potion/formula. And so, yeah, it does work on them. Razar and Toka, they are defeated, and, the Turtles, they dance some more. Even the Professor joining in, he's into it as well. And, yep, Shredder, he's of course not through with them yet, and he has a little bit of, the ooze left in a tiny, in a container, basically. And, yeah, he, of course, is going to drink it, and thus he does. And, even Kino, at one point, Kino, coming in, trying to take on Shredder, he wants to help, but, obviously, yeah, Shredder's too strong and powerful for Kino. And, well, Kino, he did his best, and, the Turtles, they go after Shredder, in which, yeah, at this point, he has drinking the ooze, and at that moment, we see Shredder, as a big mutant, monster. I mean, it's awesome. Even his armor, it gets transformed as well. those details aren't important. What's important is that, holy cow, you see Shredder as a, big mutant, and, the defeat of Shredder, and, at this point, he's turned into a big mutant. Well, I mean, would have been cool if, we had an epic fight between the Turtles and Shredder, but, they're under, like, a docking bridge, like, out in the sea, and, like, because of Shredder, like, it causes, like, the bridge to, like, the docking bridge to, like, crumble upon him, and, yeah, he's defeated. He's dead. Like, that's how he's defeated. I mean, I'm not complaining how Shredder got defeated in this movie. It was fine. It was okay. I'm not complaining. And the ending to this movie, the epilogue. Well, because, even Splinter, I assume, Splinter, he is satisfied and pleased that, the Turtles, they defeated Shredder. He is disappointed that, they were seen by the citizens of New York. They were exposed, because, well, they are ninjas. Ninjas hide, and they did not hide because they were there, they were dancing, they were exposing themselves. You get my point. They were showing off to the citizens of New York at that dance party. And by the way, because, April, we get one more appearance of April. She's on the news, and basically, the professor, he wrote a note thanking, all 4 Ninja Turtles by name, and yeah, of course, as I said, Splinter being disappointed in them, and having them do, I think, 10 or 20 backflips, and it's pretty funny, because Splinter getting the last line, well, of course, the Turtles at one point, they, of course, a couple of times say, "Cowabunga!" But Splinter telling them, "Go, ninja, go. Haha, I made a funny." Yeah. Splinter, because, Splinter having a good sense of humor. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 2, The Secret of the Ooze, is a really good sequel, and for it being the first sequel. And yeah, again, I really enjoyed The Secret of the Ooze. I really did. And I'm giving The Secret of the Ooze, 8 out of 10 stars. 8 out of 10 stars for The Secret of the Ooze. And what about you guys? What did you think of The Secret of the Ooze? And what did you think of my review? Leave comments and give this review video a like, as always. So, with all that being said, thank you very much for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed my review of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 2, The Secret of the Ooze. More review videos coming your way. They're going to be awesome. Keep looking forward, and I'll see you guys in the next video/review. And of course, the Ninja Turtles review marathon still continuing, and yeah, you know what's next, because yeah, the second sequel was not that good. So stay tuned for that later this week. Take care, and peace out.